So you have tight hips. Maybe these 3 exercises can help to loosen them. Hi, it's Kirsten. So many people do have tight hips. I'm going to give you 2 stretching exercises and then 1 corrective exercise that also helps you stretch out your tight hips. There is a bit of a proviso. Your knees have to be in pretty good shape with this one. So you can put some foam underneath your knees if these exercises are too hard on them, but they can be challenging on the knees. So let's start with the first one. You're actually going to be in a high kneeling position, which is where you come up like this. And now we're going to go through all the setup, because without the setup, these exercises aren't very effective for you. So these are a little bit more intermediate exercises. Just see how you go. Please don't push yourself too much and hurt yourself. So you're in this high kneeling position. You can see that now my feet are down. I don't tend to do this exercise that way because I find if you can tuck your toes under, it makes this a more challenging stretch for your thighs and hips. If it is too painful because you have sore toes, then just bring your feet down. I'm gonna have my toes tucked under. From here, my knees are underneath my hips. My feet are in line with my thighs, and I'm not in a tilted forward position like this. I'm not in an anterior pelvic tilt, we call it, where my little booty is sticking out that way. I'm actually tucked under slightly. So I'm bringing the pubis bone up and tucking under. So there you go. Even this position, a lot of you might say, oh, I already feel the stretch here, and that's fine. But we're going to go now and lean a little ways backwards. And then we come forwards again. I tend to inhale here. I exhale to set my pelvis by tucking it under. I'm in a gentle Kegel, and I'm now going to lean backwards and then come back forward. So let's do it with a breath. Inhaling. Exhale. Kegling and reach backwards. Inhale forwards. Now your back should not be moving here. So there's no leaning backwards like you're making a C shape or bowing your back. Let's do another one. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck that pelvis under and you're leaning straight back. So nothing changes in your spine. I always imagine like you're leaning back on a literal plank, like a wooden plank. So breathing in. We're going to exhale. Leaning back. You might find it easier to have one hand on your lower belly and one hand on your upper belly. Here we go. Breathing in. Exhaling. Kegel. Keep those hands from separating. So keep them together. Right? So my hands, the pinky and the thumb are just touching. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in. Exhaling. Looking forward. Leaning back. Keeping yourself tucked under. Last one, lengthening the spine, exhaling, Kegel, and leaning back. And inhale forward. And do be sure that you don't have to lean too far back with that one. Now, I want to give an exercise that I just love this exercise. It, again, requires you to kind of lean down on one knee, kneeling. So here's the setup. You're going to be in that high kneel position, but you're going to take one leg forward. This exercise is great if you actually have a mirror that you can look at, because oftentimes we don't realize when that one leg is forward, that hip tends to hitch up. So our pelvises are now not aligned. So one hip is sitting higher than the other versus when we were in our high kneel position where the pelvis is level. So when we take that leg up, we tuck the back toes under again, and then we try to lower that hip down. I imagine that right now my left leg is forward, that I'm sitting on a little wooden stool with my left hip. Now, when your hips are tight, a lot of my clients will want to lean forward to get away from the tightness in their hip. Don't try to, if it's too challenging, this exercise, then maybe don't do this one. But what we're trying to do is keep that body nicely aligned. We're trying to have the knee and ankle in alignment and the hip, the knee, and the shoulder in alignment. So sideways, it looks like this. Okay, so the ankle and the knee are in alignment. I'm not leaning forward. I'm keeping my body in alignment this way as well as this way. Now, many of you, when we do try to align our pelvises, for instance, let me take my other leg forward just to give it a bit of a break. When we try and line our pelvises and drop that hip, our other hip juts out to the side. So ideally, you're dropping the one tight hip, right? So you're dropping this tight waist area while leaning slightly into the stretch. So don't try and fall out of the stretch by doing this. Try and stay nicely stacked up. From here, we're going to have the hands down by our sides. I'm going to inhale and bring the arms overhead, and then exhale, bring them back down to your sides. Check in your mirror if you have it, and just see whether that hip started to hitch up. Usually, most of us will have one hip that's harder to control than the other. It's harder to keep it down. Okay, so get yourself all lined up, knee, ankle, shoulder, hip, and your knee on the other side. And then you're going to inhale, take the arms up, exhale, take the arms back down. Let's do 3 more. Breathing in. I had to correct my right hip just then by lowering it down. Exhaling, back down. 2 more. Breathing in. Check your pelvis. Has it started to creep back up, that one hip? Exhaling back down. Last one. Breathing in. And exhaling back down. Let's change size for 5. So we're going to take the other leg forward, correct it. So my toes are tucked in the back. My knee and my ankle are stacked in the front. I'm trying to lower my pelvis on this leg that is forward so that it's even. I'm trying to not lean into the supporting leg and bring it back to center. Hands are down by your side. For 5, we're going to inhale up. Exhale, back down. The palms are facing each other, not like this, like this. Inhale up. Exhaling, back down. Check your pelvis. Inhale up. Is it still aligned or are you starting to hitch up? Exhale and coming back down. Let's do 2 more. Going up. That's it. And back down. Last one. Really try and manage that pelvis as you take your arms up and then back down. Well done. Now the third exercise does require a bit of equipment. So I have a foam roller here. It's a little bit of an odd shape, but it still is a little roller that I'm going to be using. You can use a yoga block, or not a yoga block, but a cushion. And you can use a proper foam roller as well, as long as it's not too knobby where they have the knobs on there, because it can be quite painful for your back. In this exercise, we're going to lie down on your back, and you're going to lift your hips up to the air, doing a bridge, as you slide the roller underneath your pelvis. The roller is not too low, and that would be where you're touching your sits bones onto the roller, nor is it too high where it's under your lumbar spine and you're curving around the roller. So we don't want to do that. We're actually at the sacrum. So the sacrum is the little triangle bone at the bottom, or big triangle bone actually, at the bottom of your spine. So we're on the sacrum. Again, this one can be pretty challenging for some clients who have some sacral pain, like they might have some osteoarthritis in their sacrum, in their sacroiliac joints. But give this a try if you're okay to put that pressure on your sacrum. We're going to have the knees bent. We're going to take the one leg up towards your chest, and the other leg is going to stretch long. Now we're going to bring that bent knee towards your chest while reaching your long leg away from you to get the nice stretch in the front of the hip. Now, you know me, I like to breathe while we're doing this. So we're going to inhale to reach that leg away, and then exhale and let it rest back. Let's do it 5 times. That was 2. So breathing in and breathing out. Number 4, breathing in. I'm not worrying about a Kegel here. And breathing out. And last one, we're going to breathe in, reaching that leg long. You can even lift it if you want to, but it can be quite hard in the back. And relaxing it. Now, before you let this leg go down, you can soften the long leg, then let it down. Just protect your back and then bring it up. Now, first, take the other leg up towards your chest. You can tuck your hand underneath your knee. I don't tend to like to pull too hard down on the tibia or on the shin bone, but see how you go. I tend to like sort of tucking under. Now, straighten the other leg. And again, we're going to inhale to reach and then exhale. Now, when you do this, please don't shift your pelvises. So don't twist your low back. Don't twist your hips. Keep everything aligned. So I'm really trying to keep my sacrum aligned as I inhale away and then I exhale back. Let's do 3 more. So checking into your hips. So you're reaching and opening the hip without twisting and exhaling. Last 2. Breathing in to reach. You can gently pull the left or the other leg towards your chest and exhaling. Last one. Breathing in, reaching as you pull and exhaling. Nothing has to be too pulled or shoved around. So soften that straight leg first, then put the other leg down, then come up to where they're even. Then lift up your bottom gently. You might want to rotate your knees side to side, which makes it easier to unload the low back when you lift off your foam roller. So just rotate back and forth a little bit, then press through the feet, lift up the hips, and move the bolster away from you. So I don't like to really do a lot of forceful pushing and shoving on really any exercise. That's why I do the breath, because the breath kind of keeps us moving and keeps it flowing and keeps it active versus shoving and then holding your breath and trying to hold and pull as hard as you can and potentially tearing things. So you can give those 3 exercises a try if your knees are okay and your low back is not too sore. But of course, if any of them don't work for you, then don't do them. They are more challenging. They're definitely intermediate exercises, and it takes a little bit of knee power with some of them. You can also put a bit of foam underneath your knees or fold this your yoga mat up a couple times. Okay, see how they go. I hope you do well, and all the best until the next video.